Good morning. Look what Cassie made me. I've been eating so many. It's plural. Chilaquiles. It's like my go-to whenever we go out to get breakfast, so pretty stoked to have it at home. Last week, I had a clip of me putting my pants on, and someone asked who puts socks on before they put their pants on. And there was like this little debate. There were people on both sides, and I figured I'd just clear it up for you. The reason you should put your socks on first is because now that I already have my pants on, I gotta spend time pulling up my pant leg and then putting the sock on. See, look, the sock's even too long. Gotta pull it up farther. And then put it back down. See? So, the reason I go socks first is because it saves about 6 seconds, and every second is precious. I'm on my way down to the pike right now, hoping to catch this nest migration in action. Hello? Because the pike has been a Voltorb nest 2 migrations in a row. That's a month straight of Voltorbs, in a place where Voltorb normally spawns at crazy high rates. So hopefully we get something better this time. I'm not sure I'm gonna make it in time. Can we cross?
You're not allowed to cross here.
Definitely not gonna make it in time to see it happen. The migration should have just happened. Maybe it's a Magikarp nest. It's not. It's just after 5 o'clock now. We're doing Q&A today, and the first question I wanted to answer is, nests were supposed to change 29 minutes ago. I'm guessing that question came in about 31 minutes ago. Why haven't they changed? I can't get to the pike. I can't get down to the nest. I guess I have to go up and over, but I'm already running late. The reason nests are changing at a different time now is because of daylight saving time. Nest changes, Niantic server is set to UTC, Coordinated Universal Time, and that doesn't change with daylight savings time. So even though it's now 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, it's still midnight Thursday UTC. So if you live in an area that observes daylight saving time and your time changed, your nest migrations are now going to be an hour later, but that's still midnight Thursday UTC. So if you just Google midnight Thursday UTC in your local time, you'll find out what time nest migrations are going to happen. And that's every other Thursday, but we'll have to come back here and find out what this nest has changed to. While we're sitting in traffic to get out of the parking garage, I guess I can answer some more questions. I took screenshots of these questions on my computer, so I don't remember the exact wording of them right now, but I kind of remember the idea. So one of the questions is about moves and movesets becoming obsolete as Niantic continues to change them.
After 15 minutes.
Ooh, we're moving. Oh, we're moving because someone pulled into a parking space, not because we're actually getting out. One of the questions, there was a general feeling of worry about movesets becoming obsolete as Niantic continues to make changes to moves almost haphazardly, it seems sometimes. And I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think the question was, what's the point of spending Stardust, powering up Pokemon, investing in movesets when they might become terrible in the future? I don't really have an answer for that. The answer really is just play the game as it exists now, try to enjoy it now and not worry too much about what's going to happen in the future, and that goes for life as well. But in case anyone from Niantic is watching this, my suggestion for you as developers, as designers, is to not take old moves and make them terrible. You can introduce new moves and make them slightly stronger than old moves, but to take the moves that people have invested their resources in and make them unusable is really, really discouraging to players. Introducing new moves that are exciting, that are stronger, that have new abilities even, maybe, new effects, that's a good thing. Making old moves weaker, not good. I had big plans for today. was gonna pick up mail. I was gonna do evolutions with this Q&A.
Still pick it up.
The rest of this episode might just take place here in my car in this parking structure. Since we're gonna be here for a while, I can at least read the exact questions. Can you please explain the quick move Hidden Power? My Starmie has it as an Ice type move, and my Porygon has it as a Ghost type move. Hidden Power is an interesting move. In the main series games, originally, its power and type were both determined by a Pokemon's IVs. I think originally it ranged from 10 to 70 base power, and that power and the type of the move, like I said, depended on the Pokemon's IVs. So there were certain ideal combinations that would give you the highest possible power for a certain type. And even though it maxed out at 70 power, which is relatively weak in competitive Pokemon... Oh, are we moving again? About this much. Even though it maxed out at 70 power, which is relatively weak in competitive Pokemon, it was still a fairly popular move because it meant you could get moves of any specific type for a certain Pokemon. So if you needed a type to counter one of its main weaknesses, you could breed that Pokemon so it would have the right combination of IVs to have a 70 power Hidden Power of the type that you needed. That's not gonna help. It doesn't help. Now in Pokemon Go, Hidden Power can be any type except Fairy. Togepi is the only Pokemon that seems like it can get Fairy type Hidden Power, which is unfortunate because it means you still can't get any full Fairy type movesets in the game. So just to go back, in the main series, Hidden Power could be every type except Normal and Fairy, which is probably why we don't see Fairy type Hidden Power in Pokemon Go except on Togepi. Now in Pokemon Go, GamePress did a bunch of research and found that Hidden Power is not related to IVs, it's not related to any observable characteristic of Pokemon. There are plenty of cases where two people caught the same unknown, and as you know, if you catch the same Pokemon, it's going to have the same IVs, as well as the same moves, the same weight and height, and in those cases, the two people who caught it had different type Hidden Powers. So that's the exact same Pokemon, but a different type Hidden Power. So essentially, it seems at this point like it's random. He's probably sleeping in here tonight. Anyway, I hope that explains Hidden Power. Just to give you an idea of how long this is actually taking, that was about 15 minutes of footage that you just saw before my camera overheated and shut off. So as we were sitting here, I was thinking, at the very least, I'll get some Pokestop spins out of the Pokestop right here. But it turns out, it's gone. It was removed. I don't know when it happened, but this is the first time I've actually noticed a Pokestop being removed in my area. But I remember this Pokestop specifically because the description said that this roundabout exit of the parking structure was the one they used in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. And I remember thinking, that's not right. So we looked it up and it turns out it's not this one. So maybe that's why they removed it, because it was inaccurate, but I doubt it. I don't know. Pokestop's gone. So this is just 30 going on 45 minutes now of parking over here. Made it. Only 5 minutes late. Didn't get to do any of the other stuff that I wanted to do beforehand, but we're here. Here, as usual, is a great company. My homie Bosia is having a show tonight, reciting some poems from an upcoming book that he's writing, and I'm here to shoot it for him. Well, help shoot it for him. So real quick, before I walk through this door, one more question to answer right now, and that's something about comparing Pokemon and CP stuff. Yeah, that's the question right there. The answer is, you can't compare Pokemon on just one value alone. Something like CP is really terrible because it doesn't tell you about a Pokemon's individual stats, it doesn't tell you how they stack up in the current metagame. So the best way to really compare Pokemon is the way that we did it in yesterday's video, with tier lists. And those are lists that incorporate stats, not only stats, damage, movesets, but also how those Pokemon perform in real-world conditions against other common Pokemon that you're going to find. So watch yesterday's video, and that's really the best way to compare Pokemon at this point. And honestly, will remain that way even if CP goes away. There will always be tier lists that tell you what Pokemon are best in the current metagame, and that's true for any game, not just Pokemon Go.
Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Blvd.
Thank you.
We just had a quick dinner in Little Tokyo, as we always do after leaving the great company. One more question that I got asked is, why do I only get 3 candies when I catch a Gyarados, and not 5 like you're supposed to for an evolved Pokemon? The unfortunate answer is it's a glitch that hasn't been fixed since they introduced increased candies for catching evolved Pokemon. So, I don't know, let's make some noise about it. Not that really people are catching Gyarados that often, but still, seems like an easy fix. It's one number. I came across one more question that I want to answer while we were eating, and that's, what is the most beautiful place that I've found because of Pokemon Go? There are a lot, but all the ones that really stand out in my mind are in Japan. The game took me all the way to Japan, somewhere that I've wanted to go my entire life. And while the whole country was really beautiful to me and a huge change from the Western culture that I've been brought up in, I have to say one of my favorites was definitely Meiji Jingu, which I explored on my last day in Tokyo. Beautiful and a great place to play Pokemon Go, actually. It's a nest, there are tons of Pokestops, but I think my favorite place that I found on the entire trip was the cemetery, where I spent an hour just walking through, shooting, admiring things. That's gotta be it. So I'll leave you with that. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.